Hello everybody, and welcome to Escape to Books. My name is Sarah, and this is my June wrap-up and what I'm going to be reading in July. The first book I was able to finish in June was The Donut Legion. Now, this book was pretty easy. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. It was basically about a cult that a man's ex-wife is a part of, and she goes missing, so he goes to try to find her and butts heads with this cult who believe that aliens have landed and that they're coming. This book dealt with a lot of religious questioning and what people believe. Not quite what I look for to read when I'm looking for something enjoyable and lighthearted. My next book was The Way I Heard It by Mike Rowe. I have a fuller video in my channel if you want to watch that. Head there. But I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. And it's a lot about maybe tidbits about celebrities you didn't know about, or people who invented stuff that you may not have known about, and it was really enjoyable to read, really easy to read. Each story is each chapter is a different story. The next book I have is a book that was given to me by the author. It's a YA called Tribe of the Accord. I also have a video on this in my channel if you want to go check a peek at it. It is a survival story with questions of how our community should act and how people should be used within a community. It also has a pretty good survival theme in it, and it's basically like Stone Age, tribe on tribe type of thing. It's a pretty good book. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars as a YA. My next book is a first part of a series. The Soldier Sun series is called The Shaman's Crossing by Robin Hobb. I wasn't sure how to feel on this book. I'm gonna eventually, once I finish the other 2, I think it's a trilogy, I'm gonna probably review it in a larger video as a whole. As the first book goes, I think if I hadn't been listening to audiobook, I would have DNF'd it. However, I pushed through. It was a little boring for me. It's a lot of world building and character building. It's like this kid going through his school years and leading up to that. I wish there had been like a back and forth POV between both of his character. He gets like split in two, like his spirit self and his normal self, and I wish there had been more about the spirit self, and I probably would have been a little bit more invested, and it would have kind of broken up the monotony of the school life. However, the ending really ended up hooking me to the next book, and that's really what got me to stay in the series. So I will be continuing that this coming month, and that'll be one of my next reads as well. But I gave this a 4-star rating, and I can't wait to see what the next books have in store. My next read was The Book Eaters by Sunye Dean. I liked this book a lot. It had a pretty good rate of story where it continuously goes from this person basically taking care of her kid in an unconventional way, is trying to find it's not a cure, but it's basically a medicine that can quell this kid's hunger so he can eat like they do, like book eaters do. There's two different types within their world of people. She is the book eater type, and he is a different type altogether, that are very controlled within their family unit. And I don't want to give anything away for anybody who wants to read this, but it is pretty good. I liked the premise of it, and it's basically a tale of her and her son's survival, what she had grown up into and as, and it's pretty good. My next book was Playing with Fire by author Conan Doyle. And each of these stories, or each of these chapters, was also a different story. These are all his works that were published in newspapers and magazines that are not Sherlockian. I also have a review up on my channel for this as well, so I won't go into too much detail. I did like this book. Some stories were better than others, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, mainly because not all the stories are super gripping, but I really did like this book, and I think if you're a fan of author Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes, you're gonna like his prose as well. My last book for this month was The Complete Science Fiction Treasury of H.G. Wells. I, however, did not read the whole thing. The main story I was interested in was The Time Machine, which I actually just finished. I knew about his War of the Worlds in school and through movies. I've heard of The Invisible Man, also in the same vein, and The Island of Dr. Moreau, I believe, was based off a show back in the 80s, early 90s. I don't exactly remember. I was really young. I remember catching tidbits as a kid. I don't know if I would like those now. I have kind of read some of them a little bit, but the one I was mainly focused on was The Time Machine. And while it was pretty good, I had a hard time with the way that they write in this book. In this collection here, they've split the chapter into, like, I hope you can see, like 4 sections in each page, or 2 sections in each page, and it made it a little difficult to read. I wish they had just made this like a normal book, but I did finish it last night, and coming away with it, I did enjoy it. I wish they had done a little bit more with the time travel aspect. There was a little in the beginning, and then at the end where he goes further in time. I also don't want to give this away for anybody who doesn't want to read it, or give any of this away who hasn't read it yet. But I enjoyed it pretty well. The imagination that goes into somebody who is, wants to talk about the future and what may or may not occur has always been interesting to me, and I thought this stood up pretty well. I have one more series that I'm reading currently that I don't know if I'll get finished. It is an audiobook for me, and I have started An Alchemy of Masks and Mirrors by Curtis Craddock. I'm not too far into it yet. I'm hoping to finish it before this month. It'll be my my last read of June. So far, I'm really enjoying the characters, and the world building is interesting. If I had to guess what rating I was going to be giving this just on what I've read alone, it's probably going to be a 4 out of 5 stars. I almost forgot, I'll be adding this later. I did have one book out of the June reads that I DNF'd, which was The Mountain in the Sea by Ray Naylor. I got up to chapter 4 and there was a scene that I wasn't really comfortable with, and I didn't really want to read any further after that, so I went ahead and DNF'd this. Now let's move on to my June reads, which I'm excited to get to. The first book I'm going to be tackling is going to be Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. I have never read this, not even in school. I think this was an AP read that I wasn't part of whenever I was in high school. This has been in my classics read for a while, so this will be one of the 2 classics that I'm going to read this month. It looks like a short read, and I honestly don't know anything about it, so I'm excited to get to it. The second book, the second classics book that I'm going to be reading in July is Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. I do remember trying to read this in probably my junior year in high school just because I wanted to read it. However, at the time, I wasn't really into political type books, and while I'm still not super into politics, I think I remember that being the reason why I put it down. I DNF'd it back then. So I'm excited to get to this and to see what it's all about. A lot of people say that it's really relevant to basically any time you read it, so it's one of those forever reads that will make sense in your time frame. It doesn't matter when you read it. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Another serial book that I'm going to get into is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. The library up here in Kansas is doing I think it's called Evening Book Club, and that'll be the 16th of this month, so I'm going to finish this before then and go there and see what that's about. However, this book has been on my TBR for a while, and it is always out on Libby. I don't think it's on Hoopla, but Libby, it's always got like a 6, 8, 10 week wait, so I was finally able to get my hands on a real copy, and I can't wait to get into this. I hope it's as good as the hype. My other 2 serials are going to be continuing from... So the next book in the Soldier's Son series is the Forest Mage. I am going to see if I can get an audiobook for this, since it worked so well for me for the first book. And I will continue this series as I go. Like I said, I think whenever I finish this series, I'll be doing it as a whole, as a video review. So look forward to that once I'm done with the series. And hopefully I'll finish the Alchemy of Mask and Mirrors, the first part of the Risen Kingdom series, and I'll be able to move on this month to A Labyrinth of Scions and Sorcery, which will be book 2 of the Risen Kingdom series, and I've heard really good things. I've been ignoring mostly Alan from the Library of Alexandria's reads. I'm trying to catch up, but I don't think I'll make it, so I'm ignoring his discussions of the books so I don't spoil anything for myself, and I may myself do once all the series is done with me, I'm probably going to do the series as a whole review. The next books that I'm going to try are, I believe, all standalones. The Last Hair of Blackwood Library by Hester Fox. I like the cover art in this book. I think it's really pretty. And the blurb that I read, it's about a woman sometime in the 1800s, kind of misplaced, who ends up inheriting a mansion, and there is some kind of secret library with its own hidden secrets involved. so I'm excited to get to that. I'm going to try to tackle The Three Body Problem by Xian Lu. I've heard mixed reviews. I haven't really heard in-depth reviews, so I don't know if that'll be something that I do, but once I read it, we'll see. I honestly don't really know too much about what it's about, other than I think it has aliens in it. The last book that I hope to get to this month is Never Die Twice by Mark Caldwell-Jones. So this is about a spy in the future that is getting cybernetic abilities and her struggles with that, I believe. It's also about a criminal that can control machines with his mind, and a terrorist syndicate that's trying to destroy America. So I'm assuming that's all these three things and how they interact with each other, and what ensues within the future. All of these books I'm really looking forward to reading, and I will try to put links for the videos that I already have for my June reads in the description. I've never done anything like that before, so if I can't do it, all of my videos are on my channel. I hope maybe you'll read some of these with me, or give me comments on these books that you've read and what you thought about them. And I can't wait to see how these books turn out and what my thoughts are on them. I'm excited to get reading. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you would like to comment in any of my videos, please feel free to do so. And let's get reading.